everybody, it's me, Stacy, licensed designer for Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations, here with today's Take Two Tuesday event. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Now Take Two Tuesdays are where we do a make, and I'm using my products from these fabulous companies, and today it's all about Sizzix. I'm using one of my stamp and stencil combinations from Christmas, and oh my gosh, wait till you see the price we're able to offer it to you. It's like $24.99 regular price. That's its regular retail, but not for you and not here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. I'm also going to be playing with my Teal Opulent paper. And for those of you who are familiar, Opulent paper is an amazing paper by Sizzix. They make gold and silver and charcoal and ivory and festive and rose gold, and now they make teal, but only for so long. It is limited edition. And so right now, do you know where you're gonna find it? Not here, not at Scrapbooking Made Simple. No, scrapbook.com has the exclusive on it right now. And I know that it's been selling and they've been reordering and selling and reordering. So if it is sold out, put yourself on that notify me list. Get on that notify me list, because once Sizzix is out of my Teal Opulent, they are out of it, and it is so swoon worthy. So today I am playing with one of my sets from Christmas, and this is a stamp and stencil. It is Merry and Light, Cosmopolitan Merry and Light, and inside is just the most beautiful stamp set ever with a coordinating stencil. And I told you this would be at a phenomenal price. It retails for $24.99, but here on today's Take Two Tuesday event with me, Stacy, hello, how about $7.50? I know, right? Wahoo Kachoo. So today we are gonna do a couple simple makes. I think I'm gonna make the same card twice. I'm just gonna change it up and really show you how fabulous all of this amazing product is from Sizzix, along with the most stunning teal opulent paper ever. Everybody who has finally got their hands on it, because it kept selling out and selling out, has gone back for more. I've gotten a lot of questions about, why is it limited edition, Stacy? Well, because that's what it is. Sizzix decided that's what they're gonna do. So when it's gone, it's gone. And of course, Opulent has 5 specialty papers. There's 10 of each sheet, from glitter to pearl to satin to metal to mirror. And I think today it is just beautiful. So if you are watching me for the first time, hey, I'm Stacy. I am the owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple, but I'm also a licensed designer for these great companies, Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations. And there's a live chat going on during our premiere, which is right over there. The live chat's right over there if you're on a desktop or a laptop. If you're on a different device, you might find the live chat below. And what I really try to bring to you is achievable makes, achievable ways to use the product, so that, I mean, there's some fabulous makers out there that just, my mind goes, psh. I'm the average Joe. I'm the more simplistic, more let's get it done. I want to do a bunch of these. So I try to keep it accessible to every level of crafter. And today we're going to be playing with embossing powder and in fact, I think I'm just going to choose one stamp out of the whole set and make a fun make. So if you are ready, I am too. I was looking for my glasses, but I can't find them. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to try and do it without my glasses. Okay. You know, are they on top of my head? No, they are not. Wait, what are these? Nope, that's not them either. Okay, we're just gonna go for it and do it without my glasses. We'll see if I get everything lined up straight. And now you know that my videos are not edited or scripted, because away we go. So I am gonna start with this set. And I do have a stencil that goes with it that allows you to add snow, and it allows you to add baubles, and it has some words to it. But the actual stamp set is pretty wonderful. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes of Christmas trees, but they don't have to be Christmas trees. And then there's sentiments and baubles and stars and everything to go with. So it's not one stamp, it's many stamps that let you build however it is you want to build your layout, your mixed media, your altered art, your card making. Maybe one time you need a big tree. Maybe the next time you need a big tree with 2 smaller on the sides. Maybe you went camping. Maybe it's for the Boy Scouts. Maybe it is for Christmas. But at $7.50, wow, wow, wow. So to start with, I'm going to bring over my stencil and stamp tool from Sizzix. Stencil and stamp tool. I'm going to tilt on down and let's get started for today. And let's hope I can see what I'm doing. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, okay. Holy smokes artichokes. Let's go on down. Let's zoom on in a little bit. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Does that look good? All right, I'm gonna go for it, and we're just gonna go for it, and hopefully I'm good. So this is a stencil and stamp tool. It is fabulous if you are doing any kind of stenciling, because this amazing little green piece of plastic here allows you to align your stencils up perfectly every time. It also lets you move your stencils anywhere you want to move them. Today we're talking about stamping, so I don't need my little green alignment tool. I can put that off to the side. I do need my lid though, and the lid, it doesn't click in, it just slips in and out really super easy. In and out, and the lid has 2 sides. One that has a grid on it and one that is smooth. When you are using it as a stamp platform, you're always going to have that smooth side to pick up the stamp. Now I am going to start with Opulent paper, and I've got my teal here. Love my colors. Let's put that off to the side and let's see what we're going to play with first. So whether it be the beautiful glitter, that satin is absolutely gorgeous. It is as fabulous as you think it would be. I've got a metal finish. I've got a mirror finish. And then I've got a pearlized finish, or a satin pearlized finish. I'm going to start with this to begin with. I think that's the piece that we're going to play with. And I've got my stamp set here. And I do think that I am going to start, I'm going to keep it, I'm not going to do the biggest stamp. I'm not going to do the next size. I'm going to do this one here. And there's still one more, even a little bit smaller. But I'm going to grab this stamp. I think this is the size that we're going to go with. And let's cut my paper down just a little bit. It's probably more than I need, but I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. And with your stencil and stamp tool, it comes with a piece of sticky grid. And sticky grid is what I have put here. It is an A4 sheet of the most beautiful, amazing, Post-it note material you've ever had in your life. It holds everything without harming everything. So when I put my paper down on it, it holds my paper perfectly. Nothing slips, nothing slides. And then when I need to pick my paper up, I pull it up and there's no damage to it. And then I need to put it down and it doesn't slip and it doesn't slide. And then I need to pull it up. Now, sticky grid will eventually not be sticky. I will tell you, it takes quite a while for that to happen, for sticky grid to not be sticky. And what does help keep it, or what makes it not be sticky anymore would be your hands on it. See, I'm putting my hands on it. The oils from my hands are getting on it. If I accidentally got embossing powder on it, or glitter on it, anything that would typically take stick away from anything else is going to do the same here. But even then, I can get ink all over this and it still stays sticky. So I've got my Teal Opulent, love it. And I've got my stamp. And I'm just gonna put my stamp right against my Opulent. And then close my lid and pick it up. That simple. As long as I don't move my paper, I can put this back down and stamp as many times as I want. Today I'm going to be playing with Versamark because we are going to be using embossing powder. So I could open my lid, leave my lid in, and add some Versamark, which is an embossing medium. It's not a glue, it's an embossing medium. Bring this back over, close, and stamp. I don't have enough room off to my side because I've got my Sizzix Big Shot machine there. I don't have enough room off to my side for me to open my platform all the way and then ink. So I can, and most often, we'll just take it right out, add my Versamark. Now Versamark's also known as a watermark medium. So if you've got a beautiful background stamp and you want to stamp that background stamp on a pretty piece of paper and just have a very faint image of it, Versamark does a great job. Not only is it an embossing medium, it is a watermark. So I'm not going to pick up my paper, but I am going to move my stamp. And I'm just going to move it down just a little bit. And press and pull up and ink and down and pull up. Make sure I've got that area right there, and pull my stamp off and lay my stamp down, and I'm just eyeballing it. And without glasses, boy am I eyeballing it. Down, pull up, put some Versamark, and as long as I don't move my paper, I can just keep on going. And if I wanted to, I could just take it all the way to the end. A little bit of Versamark. Now, how long does it take for Versamark to dry? Well, it takes a little while to dry. The reason there is a Versamark is because you need to be able to stamp with something that stays open, wet, long enough for you to be able to put your embossing powder down and will react with embossing powder. So there, I've got 5 going across. I probably don't need 5 going across, but I had the room, so I did it anyway. Bing, bang, boom. One press right there. Now again, I don't have my glasses on, so let's hope I did a good job. Looks pretty okay to me. And what you can see is a little bit of a watermark. Now, if I were to let this just dry, it would dry with a watermark of those trees, which is why I was saying if you have a stencil, a background stencil, and you ink, or a background stamp, and you ink it up, a background stamp with your Versamark, and then you stamp it onto colored paper, onto your colored cardstock, it leaves that watermark look that gives you a little bit of a design, a little bit of a texture without it being too much. And you know the color is going to perfectly match because you didn't use ink. You just used the color of the paper to give it that watermark look. I'm going to be embossing this. So I'm going to close up my stencil and stamp tool. I don't want to get embossing powder all into it. And I'm going to make a makeshift little funnel out of a scrap piece of paper. I'm gonna grab my white embossing powder. We'll do it in white. No silver. No white, no silver. Let's do silver. And I just dump it on and let gravity do the work. So everywhere I had Versamark, my embossing powder is now clinging to it. That Versamark is tacky. And it stays wet for quite some time. It has lots of what they call open time. So time for you to use it. Now I'm a girl who just kind of flicks the back of it to get off any extra. You can use some an anti-static talc type of paper or pouch to go over the top if you want to make sure that you don't have any extra embossing powder. I just kind of go for it. I'm just kind of a go for it kind of girl. Some people will take a little paintbrush and go in there. I'm going to see what happens. Now, it doesn't look very exciting, and I happen to agree it doesn't. Because embossing powder isn't exciting until you heat it. Embossing powder is kind of a plastic substrate where it's finely ground. And when you heat it with a proper heat tool, it melts and it goes from a powder into a solid. See, if I had put this here and I took my stamp and I put it there and I put some Versamark on it and I stamped away, and then I threw some embossing powder over the top. Yep. If I don't heat it, it will never become a solid. If I don't heat it, and I think I'm just going to put a sentiment and call my card done, or call my layout done, or whatever it is you're adding this type of an embellishment to, it will just wipe right away. It requires that heat to take that kind of plasticky material and turn it into a solid. So if I take my heat tool, and this is a Sizzix heat tool, it's dual speed, it has a little stand, a little kickstand. The nice thing is, if you're not used to embossing yet, you can start with the slower heat, the slower speed. And once you get better, you rev it up and you can get it done faster. Now you can't do this with a blow dryer, and I don't know that you want to use a paint stripper. Now I'm going to put it right down close to my, and you can see it starting to change. The heat melts that powder. And it takes it from that dull gray to that amazing embossed finish, like a professional Christmas card, like something you would go pay oodles of money for, but you did it with a stamp and embossing powder. Now, if I don't heat any of this, it will wipe away. So I have to continue. Okay, so I think I'm done. I think I'm done until I look closely. And can you see that big, empty, not shiny space right around here? It's not pretty, it's not shiny, it's dull. That means I didn't add enough heat to get that embossing powder turned into a solid. Bam. Now, how long does it take for it to cool? As soon as the paper is cool, so is the embossing powder, which means I can now run my fingers over it and it won't move, it doesn't smear. Look at how pretty is that. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna do a wash, rinse, and repeat. I'm gonna come back to that, but I'm gonna do a wash, rinse, and repeat. Except for I'm gonna change it up just a little bit. And you're like, well then Stacy, it can't be a wash, rinse, and repeat if you're changing it up a little bit. Well, okay, I know, but it's close. So I've got my paper. I've got my paper down. And this time, before I start putting my stamp down, I'm gonna take a piece of Sizzix Maker's Tape. This is the same. It's a glorified Post-it note in a roll of tape. It's a masking tape, or it's a holding something down where you don't want it to harm the paper tape. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to run it over the center of my cardstock. Then I'm going to grab my stamp and I'm going to see if that's going to make, oh yeah, that's perfect. So I'm just going to push it right down into the center of my cardstock. And then I'm going to start stamping again. So I've got my stamp there. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to use some Versamark. And down we go. And I am stamping right on top of that Maker's Tape. I know that Maker's Tape is not going to harm my paper. Then I can start moving my stamp on over. And it's not perfectly in line, and I'm okay with that. Add some more Versamark. And down we go. And pull up my stamp and move my stamp over. And I can see where I've stamped by the watermark. A little down. And press. And Versamark on up. Now Versamark is water soluble. So when you want to go to clean your stamp, you're just going to take a baby wipe to clean that Versamark right off of it. And up we go. And I've got 3 Christmas trees. And I think maybe I'll leave it at 3 Christmas. Well, I'm here, so right, you might as well just do it because you don't know what you're going to want until you know what you're going to want. Did you follow that? I might as well do all 5 because my paper's that wide. I might cut it down to 3. This is the beauty of a stamp positioner. And the stencil and stamp tool is dual purpose. It's unlike any other tool out in the market because it is dual purpose and it does what it says and it says what it does. It is the most perfect tool to line up your stencils, but then it's the most perfect tool for a stamp positioner. And because it's A4 in size, you've got room. A lot of my stamps are A5 in size. My stencil, the stencil that goes with it, A5 in size. So having that larger platform really gives you more opportunity. All right, I've stamped. Now let's pull it up, and I'm going to pull it with the tape. So I'm going to pull it with the tape. And I'm not going to take that tape off yet. Oh no, I'm not. I can now come in and we'll do this one in white because we did. Oh, should we do it? Should we do it in white with silver? Or should we have apples to apples? Maybe we will do it in, maybe we'll do it in white. So again, I'm just going to take my embossing powder and dump it right on. And all of my little trees will start to appear. I tend to give a little bit of a thump to get any extra off. And that works for me. I missed a little bit up here, maybe a little bit more right there. And a little bit more at the top of my tree. All right, now I'm going to heat emboss with the tape on. Just put all my embossing powder right back away. You use so little, and I'm going to heat emboss. And now what I'm looking for is that bright white finish. A bright white finish. Okay, so bright white finish, not heat, haven't added enough heat yet to turn it. This is still powder, I could wipe it away. Bright white finish, not done yet. And anywhere I see a dull spot, when I turn it and I get a reflection off of it, anywhere I see a dull spot, I know I need to go back in and add just a little bit more heat. All right. Now you're saying, but what about that strip, Stacy, that tape? Yep, I need to get rid of that now. And I pull it up. And it leaves me a perfect void in all my trees. a perfect void. Now you may be saying, Stacy, why didn't you pull the tape up before you added the embossing powder? I mean, there's no Versamark there, right? Well, that's very true. That's very true. But let's see if I can make it happen. Let's see, let's grab another piece of paper. And let's put a piece of my Sizzix maker's tape, and we use this for just about everything. If we need to hold dies in place, don't want to crease in it though. There we go. Okay, back down I go. And let's put my tree. And I'll just do 3 trees. So a little Versamark. Down. Move it over. Little Versamark. Let's pick it up. Down. Move it over. And this time I'm going to pull my tape before I do my embossing powder. And we'll see what happens. Could come out perfect, might not. Okay, so I'm in the same place I was with this one, only this time I left the tape on, did my heat set, and then pulled my tape up. Here, I'm gonna pull my tape before I put my embossing powder. I can see that I've got that little void in there. I can see it. And let's do some silver. And I dump it on and kind of let my gravity do the work. And I give a good push. But I can tell, I don't know if I can get it in there, but I can tell where the line of the tape was. Even though there's just a little bit of residue left behind, even though it is as easy to pull off as a Post-it note, it still has adhesive there. And I can see that there's a little bit of it of my embossing powder in that line because of course adhesive is sticky, and well, embossing powder is looking to stick to something. Now I could go in there and carefully, yeah, see, I can feel it, it's in there. I can carefully go in there. Let me put this one back and try to wipe it off. And what happens is if you leave it there, when you heat, you're going to get these little dimples, little dots of embossing powder. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to carefully wipe it down. But I can tell you, it's there. So it's better to go ahead and stamp close on this one. Maybe I'll use this one. It's a little bit bigger. Ooh! Did you hear that? it's better to go ahead and put your tape down, stamp, one, two, three. I'll just do 3. One. Move it over. Pick it up. Ink it. Move it over. And then do your embossing. Okay. Pull this up. Let's do our silver again. Straight over the tape. Straight over it. And I kind of pour along the top, and then I let gravity do the work for me. Give a little flick, and anywhere there's a little extra from my fingers, I just kind of wipe it off, and then I pull my tape, because then I know there's no embossing powder in the center. Or I leave it right there and I heat with it on. I can pull it right now if I want, because I know there's no embossing powder in the center. If I leave it on, I heat with it on and then pull it off. You don't want to stamp and then pull your tape and then add your embossing powder. That's where you get the leftover residue. For me, it's easier just to leave it in place, heat, and then pull. If you want, you can pull now because you're not adding any embossing powder. But you don't want to stamp on top of your mask, pull it up, and then add your embossing powder. For me, it's easier now to just pull it up. It just ensures that that center stays clean. And now what am I going to do with that? Why did I leave 2 centers? Well, because I can now stamp a sentiment. I can stamp a beautiful sentiment right in that negative space. So if I bring over my stamp set, there's 3 sentiments that come with them. This is, I think I'm going to use May Your Days Be Merry and Your Heart Be Light, Sending You Christmas Cheer, and Warm Wishes for a Happy Holiday. So there's 3 sentiments that come with it. And I'm going to go ahead and put my paper back down. Put my stamp in place where I'm going to want it. Making sure I'm reading it in the right direction. And then pick it up. and Versamark. And down. Now I used silver on these trees. I'm going to do the white ones. And I will do, so I'll do a white embossing here and a silver embossing there. Now I didn't throw my embossing powder immediately on because I don't have to. It stays wet long enough. Line up my stamp again. Pick it up. Add some Versamark. And this is where the type of embossing powder is going to come into play. Detailed embossing powder or superfine embossing powder is what you're looking for. All embossing powders are not the same. And pick it up. Now I can bring over my first one and we'll do that in white. So I'll do the sentiment in white because I've got silver trees. Just kind of let it do its thing. Give a nice little flick. And let's do this one in silver. Line up my stamp. So this one fits perfect for a 3. A little bit of Versamark. Pull it up. And let's grab that silver embossing powder because I have white trees. And just kind of let gravity do the job for me. And then I can heat set. Getting all my little fingerprints off of it. And come in. And may your days be merry and your heart be light. Then I start cutting and I start matting and layering. So I'm going to trim this right on down. Zoop. And zoop. And I literally start to cut and mat and this was the first one we did of just the silver. I want to do a slim line. You would use a trimmer. I just kind of freehand it. And then I decide how I want to mat everything. And I love matting. I think matting just adds so much. I think you can add oodles and oodles and oodles of mats, and it just looks beautiful. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on some silver. Oh, Stacy, hello. Talk about yay. That works for me. Okay, so I'm going to put it on some silver. A little bit of Stacy tape. So remember, when you're putting a mask down and you want to use embossing powder, after you're done stamping, don't pull that mask up. You need to put that embossing powder down right on top of the mask. If at that point you want to pull it up, you can, or for me, it's easier to just stamp with or heat emboss with the mask and pull it up afterwards. This is where them glasses would sure come in handy. Okay, so I've got my first layer of matting. I might save that. Maybe for that. Nope, too small. And now my next layer. And what color do I want of teal? Do I want to go glitter? Do I want to go matte finish? Do I want to go mirror finish and add some pizzazz? Ooh, look at that beautiful mirror finish. And put that on there. Ooh, that looks good. So a little bit of Stacy tape. And I think I'll keep this one kind of narrow. Maybe I could go wide with that one. I went a little wider with that one. Let's go wide with the mirror because it's so pretty. The color's so beautiful. So I'm making a slim line. Okay, so I'm there. Ooh, and now what do I want to do? How about just a little bit of, will it fit? Let's get a piece of silver in the glitter. Because to me, if one mat is good, 20 is better. And I'll go narrow on that silver. You would use more tape than I am. Go a little narrow on that silver, not too much. And yeah, I'm gonna go one more mat. And you're like, are you serious? I am serious. One more mat, and I'm gonna do that in the satin. Ooh, because the satin's so pretty. There we go. Ooh, it's so pretty. One more. And you're like, oh my gosh, Stacy, really? Yeah. If one mat is good, and then I've made the most beautiful slimline card. Oh yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy with that. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, this is all paper. Look at what you can do with paper. I took one stamp. One stamp out of my big stamp set with all of those trees, 4 different trees. And yet I chose the second to the smallest to really feature it. Okay. Mat it onto my slimline card base, but I think I'm gonna do one more thing. And this is where I really wish I had my glasses. Boy, howdy do I wish I had my glasses. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Sizzix adhesive. This is their quick drying adhesive. It dries crystal clear. I'm gonna take and put a little dollop on the top of each tree. And I'm gonna come back in with some of my Sizzix bling. So in here are seed beads and sequins and star sequins and matte sequins. And I'm gonna take the stars and I'm just gonna put a star at the top. Now I don't have to worry if I have a little too much glue because the glue dries clear. So I'd rather almost have a little bit too much than not enough. And pick up my next one. And just kind of drop it in place. And my next one. And kind of drop it in place. Just so I have some little stars at the tops of my trees. And I've done them in the silver. All right. Now I'm going to let that glue dry. And look at how cute is this. And it's done. And really, I stamped 5 times. I did an embossing powder. Where all the detail comes in is in that beautiful Opulent and all of that matting. Now my trees can be used all year round. And holy smokes, artichokes for $7.50 on a $24.99 set that comes with a coordinating stencil. That's magic. So today we featured Sizzix Opulent paper right now exclusively at scrapbook.com. Exclusively at scrapbook.com. I hope it's back in stock because it's sold out. It's sold out 4 times. Glitter, satin, metal finish, mirror finish, pearl. 10 sheets each, 50 sheets total. You'll see my Stacy Park name on it, and it's in my signature teal. And then the steal of the deal of the day is the set that has all the stamps, all the different size trees, and the coordinating stencil that will work with all the stamps to add either your snow falling, or if you want to add baubles, and there's some words in there that you can use as well. Retails for $24.99. It'll be on sale for $7.50. Wow. Now I did some earlier, and in fact I did a big one. I used one of my big tree. I used the big tree to do this. And I used the sequins, and I just stamped. And then I matted. And then I made a 3 tree with my little stars above. And then I did a little 3 tree with a silver sentiment in the middle. May your days be merry and your heart be light. And then you and I did our slimline. So easy to do, beautiful, effective, a lot of paper, but paper's the easiest thing to use. It's just matting, but the mats makes the difference. That silver opulent and that teal, it's like they were made to go together. So we'll put the silver opulent on sale too. All right, you guys. So I did it without glasses on. Wow. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's Make It, or no, it's not Make It Monday, it's Take Two Tuesday. Oh my gosh. And you will find all of these products at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. We are a small independent retailer, so we are here supporting small independents. And then you can find the opulent, the teal opulent at another independent retailer. You might not have known, but scrapbook.com is owned by one family. They are an independent retailer, a little bit bigger than Scrapbooking Made Simple, but an independent nonetheless. And if they're out of it, just get on that notify me list because you will not be disappointed with that opulent paper. All right, the next time I see you will be Thursday for our New For You event. I have Elizabeth Crafts for you. Oh, so pretty. So join me right back here on the Scrapbooking Made Simple YouTube channel at 6 p.m. sunny California time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, when I show you the latest and greatest from Elizabeth Crafts. Until then, I'm Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.